Some thinks that he has chance to say tawbah. Can we say today Muslims, they think they're in the right way, but they have a couple of wrong stuff and they know they can be better? Is the mankind, can we say today's Muslims are the same way? They think that they have a chance that they can fix their stuff, or if they do some wrong stuff.
But the reality is, does Shaitan think there is time for tawbah? Does he think?
Yes.
To make tawbah, you have to first acknowledge you make mistake. Then you can make tawbah. Allah will forgive you if you ask for tawbah. Leave Allah's power to forgive with or without. Leave Allah's power alone. But Allah will forgive you if you ask for tawbah. You ask for tawbah, you ask for forgiveness when you believe you've done something wrong. Yes? Does Shaitan believe he's done anything wrong? This is the problem. Yes, this problem 21st century mankind has, especially the Muslims. We don't believe we've done something wrong, anything wrong. This is one of the reasons why they're running away from tariqats, from spirituality. And tariqat and spirituality, if they run towards it in the Akhir Zaman, it is just about singing and dancing, talking about maqams and visions. It's not about tawbah. So easy. People saying, I love Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam, Ashq Rasul. If you ask half this world, they are Ashq Rasul now. Before, more than half they are Wahhabi, now more than half they are Ashq Rasul, no? Even the Western press powers, they are saying, hey, what happened? Saudi Arabia no longer Wahhabi? They gave up on the Wahhabism? Everyone seems to be going back to Ahl Sunnat. What Ahl Sunnat? Ahl Sunnat according to who? Is it really Ahl Sunnat? Are they following the Sunnats? Or are they following their own Sunnats? This is the point. Are they following the Sunnats? Whose Sunnats? They become worse than Wahhabi. Within the way of Ahl Sunnat, within the way of tariqat, they find their own way, their own thing to do. So many enter into tariqat to have an adventure, or to see unusual things, or to be able to do unusual things. What is the tariqat? But it is the lifestyle of the Prophet ﷺ. Why are we making 70 times astaghfirullah in this Hatm Khajagan? Why? Do you know why? Yes or no? Do you know why? Yes or no? Because Prophet ﷺ, every day he makes at least 70 times. He's saying, I make 70 times astaghfirullah. Following the sunnah properly from the outside and from the inside now. The sunnah from the outside, you may say it is shariat. Don't look at this to see turban and Haidariya and wearing loose clothes like the shalwar and everything. This is sunnah. This is not sunnah, it's fars. This is fars. This is how Muslim men are supposed to dress like. You dress away from that, they say, what's wrong with you? You're not Muslim. Now it's become sunnat, they say. Do you understand? In the old days, you ever see, until 100 years ago, any Muslim man not wearing turban? Especially to go to holy places, especially when they pray, they go to the jami. Unthinkable. This is what sets us apart from the non-Muslims. So Ahl Sunnat, then there is a sunnat of the inside. That is how you clean your heart. You don't clean your heart, you just do from the outside. That Yahudis they're doing also. They're doing better. When they have their war, they're being attacked. Those Yahudis that their job is to make sacrifice, they're still continuing. They're being killed, they're still making their sacrifice. And Isa alayhi salam came to that nation to say, you have deviated. Because everything starts from the heart. Outside it may look as if you are following 100%, but from the heart, those with the vision, they understand, and your Lord is not happy with you. You have to change. Meaning from the outside is easy to carry. From the inside you have to change. It takes prophets, it takes Ruhullah to come to bring that to them. Isa alayhi salam, his title is Ruhullah, the Spirit of Allah. Now, people running to look like they're Muslim now. They're running to follow the sunnah of the Prophet now. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. They're running now, 50 years ago, they say cannot make mawlid, cannot make zikr, this. Now everywhere the same. Governments are supporting it. But the governments and the world is not becoming more bright, it's becoming more dark. Because the time of Dajjal appearances is coming faster and faster. Things are getting darker and darker. Things are getting darker and darker. More people are running towards zikr and towards all these. Now you put a question mark. Who are those who are leading? What kind of zikrs they're doing? Where are they leading people towards? The heart to clean, you have to have irshad. Irshad is not coming from books. Millions of thousands of books you are reading. It cannot bring you that irshad. Irshad has to come from the one who has been given that teachings, that title. It has to come from a person who has irshad. But Muslims are running away from that because in order for you to get guidance, to get irshad, now you have to follow authority. No longer you just read something and you understand according to your own head. No longer you are going to read hundreds of books and you're going to pretend that you know so much. Because once you are going to appear in front of, like our Shaykh, now he's going to show you your real maqam. And he's going to show you where you're supposed to reach. And if you are still trying to get irshad without a Shaykh, that time the Shaykh is shaitan. Because shaitan says, I don't need a Shaykh. I have Allah. Who is supposed to be the Shaykh of shaitan? Why do you think out of everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, He is calling Hazrati Insan to have been created in the most perfect form? That He makes Adam alayhi salam, He makes all of creation, including the angels, to bow down to Him. The secret is there. Qibla. And when you're buried, they were going to ask you that question too. What is your Qibla? Don't think just because 5 times a day you're going up and down facing the Kaaba, in that Qibla, you are going to give the right answer in your grave. Whatever that is in your heart, again, whatever that you are facing, Qibla means direction. Whatever that you are facing, that, whatever that is in your heart is going to speak. It's not what physically you are facing. Which nation? We call ourselves the nation of the Prophet ﷺ. We call ourselves the nation of the millat of Ibrahim ﷺ. Where? Where? The Muslims don't look, don't behave, don't think like Muslims anymore. The unbelievers, forget about it. Who are we serving? Our Lord. Who is our Lord? You're going up and down, you say Allahu Akbar, that is your Lord? Your Lord is what you serve, what you say, my whole existence has to please that. So many people say, nationalism is my Lord. It's higher than, some say race is higher than anything else. Some say my Lord is money, my family. How are you going to understand this spiritual meaning of who your Lord, who is your Prophet, who is your Ummah. Muslims today, they are running to be and to behave like the millet of Hazrat Ibrahim. Or they're running to become the millet of TikTok. They're showing time is up. Time is finishing. You're finishing time, time is finishing you. Because Allah swears by time. Your Qibla? What are we facing? In fact, Shaykh Effendi said so many times, Muslims now, maybe that time 10 years ago, we were speaking for 20 years, the Qibla is the television. In fact, they will put the television in the actual direction of the Qibla. Understand how now it is Akhir Zaman. You don't need to face one direction to watch TV. They are taking that ayat and they're making it shaitanic. What is that ayat? Everywhere you turn, you're going to see Allah's face. Right? They're making that to be shaitanic now. You don't have to face the television now to be able to be sucked into that sewer system. You have it in your hand. Everywhere you turn, there is shaitan. You understand? Prophet ﷺ is saying, my shafaat is for those ones in the nation who have committed big sins. Big ones. And if you are following in the way of tariqat, there is no difference between a big and a small sin. Because it's between remembrance and forgetting Allah. That's all. It's finished. Either you remember Allah or you forget Allah. It's between these two. And if you forget Allah, that is a very big sin. If you forget Allah. To forget Allah means to say He doesn't exist. It is worse than saying, I am partner to Allah. It is like Nemrut saying, you don't exist, only I exist. You understand? Nemrut wants to kill Allah. At least Firaun is saying. Same. So how are you going to make tawbah if you don't admit you've done something wrong? To understand you've done something wrong is to understand how sick you are. How spiritually, how sick you are. You didn't think you were doing something, now you understand you're doing something wrong. You didn't think that you were thinking something, understanding things, supporting this system. You didn't think all of that. You meet the Shaykh is going to speak, you're going to listen, you're going to submit, and now you understand. That time you understand, La ilaha illa anta subhanak kuntu minaz zalimin. You understand that I am one of the oppressors. Don't look at others, I am one of the oppressors. So what happened to those ones who are saying, we don't do anything wrong? Ask. Majority of the Muslims think we don't do anything wrong. Then if you do something, if you believe, if the majority believe we've done something wrong, number one, we'd all run to the grave of Ulu Hakan, saying, forgive us, we have betrayed you. We'd run to the grave of Sultan Abdulaziz, forgive us. We would run to all those ones that Allah had sent to save us, that we destroy them, we betray them, we have done something wrong. Completely, total, whole system, we've done something wrong. Which Muslim nation now? From the nation to the institutions, to the masajids, to the madrasas, that they're saying we are living in very big wrong. Because we are not accepting the Khilafat of Allah. If you don't admit you've done something wrong, how can you make tawbah? Will there be tawbah? Don't say, well, Allah can forgive. Allah can do anything. But Allah is also saying, the one who is doing good and the one who is doing evil, they are not the same. Yes or no? Allah is saying, and how many more times clearly we have to, Allah is saying in so many ayats, you do good, you're going to get rewarded. You do evil, you're going to go to hell. You're going to burn forever. How many more ayats do we need? Since when? It is saying, since when? They twist everything. Since there is no Khilafat, so there is no Ahl Sunnat. Because the Khalifa is the defender of Ahl Sunnat. Without the Khalifa, Ahl Sunnat Aqidah cannot exist. It's impossible. With that authority, especially here I'm speaking about the Ottomans, with that authority, that they not only stopped other wrong Aqidahs that's taking over everything, they finished them. With that authority, they're even spreading not only Ahl Sunnah, but they're spreading what is supporting Ahl Sunnah from the inside, which is Tasawwuf. And they are the only empire that is an empire of Sufism. All other empires, they're not supporting it like that. So now, Shaitan didn't think he did anything wrong. He's very stubborn. He's not going to ask for forgiveness. He might think he's forgiven, but he's not going to ask. Why he thinks that he's not forgiven, he'll be taken out. He will get out of this. Let's just put it that way, like some of our brothers. How do I get out of this? It's about getting out of that. And there's so many people that are worse than Shaitan with that. So this is very dangerous. When the man who is sick and is spreading sickness everywhere, but he is not admitting that he's sick. He's saying he's the best, and that sickness doesn't exist. It's very dangerous. These days, governments will put you in jail for that. These days, there are some governments, they'll shoot you if you do that. So, the warning that with that Malhamatu Kubra that is going to happen, 7, 6, if there are 7 billion, 6 billion is going to be destroyed. And the 6 billion that is going to be destroyed is going to be thrown into non-existence as if they never existed. Worst of the worst. Worst. Just like what? The flood of Nuh alayhi salam. Those people who died in the flood of Nuh, they're not going to be brought back to life. Understand how heavy it is, including Nuh alayhi salam's son. We may assume. Maybe Allah will forgive, Allahu Alam. We'll leave it to that because it's concerning that Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. We're not going to judge. But now, we're seeing how difficult it is. How heavy it is now. Allah is saying, you hate any one of my friends, I will declare war on you. Allah is saying, don't annoy my Prophet. He is saying, don't annoy him. You annoy my Prophet, والسلام, you will burn. And the next ayat, Allah is saying, you annoy the believers and the unbelievers, believers, believing men, believing women, you annoy them, you will also get punished. Now, where are we? If anything, anyone who is following tariqat or a saint, living or those who have passed from this world, an open target for ridicule. No. So, dangerous times, yes, we're living in. Don't look to see what this government is doing, what this government is doing. this politics is doing, this politician is doing. Don't look to see that. They're all same. Same. Look to see how you're preparing yourself for Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam. And the only way you're going to do that is if you understand the battle that is inside of you and you fight against it, which is your ego. That everyone can do. Maybe people, majority, they're not going to understand what is haq and battle from the outside. Everything is darkness, no? But you will know, every one of us, believer or unbeliever, you will know what is right and what is wrong, what is coming from your ego and what is not inside, for yourself. Shaykh Maulana Shaykh Effendi is saying, follow your prophets, follow your prophets. Follow them properly, follow them sincerely. You are Yahudi, follow your prophets sincerely. You're Christians, follow your prophets sincerely. You're Muslims, follow your prophets sincerely. You'll find safety. Why is he saying that? Because no one is following the Prophet sincerely. Not the Jews, not the Christians, not the Muslims. What we want to follow? We want to follow this world, what the world has to offer. What is our worry? Our worry is this world. Our preoccupation is with this world. We are not worried whether if angel of death is coming to take our life tonight, whether we're going to be in safety or not. We're not worried about that. We're not. If we are, our prayers are going to be much sweeter. Before, people were living in the best of times, but you see the masjids filled with people crying to their Lord, asking Allah to forgive them. Old men who spend their whole life worshipping, they're still crying to their Lord. Now we're living in the worst of times, we don't see no one doing that. Especially not the young. So, they are stopping people from speaking and from awakening people's hearts also. They are stopping that. So they say, you want religion, you can have this, but not something else. What is that something else? That awakens your heart. You want tasawwuf, you can have that, singing and dancing, but not something that awakens your heart. What else you want? Ilm, same. Be sleeping, be dead, drugged. Yes, in that way it is true. Religion can be an opiate of the masses when you use that as a drug. But when you use that to awaken people as it's intended to be, then you are going to discover everything that your Lord has created for you, what is for you, and how to return back to Him. That time, you are here, one foot is here, and another foot is circling around the cosmos. Your body is here, but your heart is circling around the galaxies, witnessing Allah. Allah, witnessing the power of Allah. You understand? Now, what are we witnessing? What are we witnessing, especially with this technology? It's not the power of Allah. The West declare Allah is dead. Decades ago, they make publication. They still think, if you go to college or this, a high level, you say you have a religion, you say you believe, they say, really? You're still backward? West, and it's creeping to the east too. It's very big danger now. And if your heart is too much with them, with those ones, the fire that is reaching them will burn us. That's why Prophet says, pull yourself back a little bit. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha.